I'm Daniel, and this is a presentation on the game we're making for our course. So we chose this game based on the popularity of both Cuphead and Bendy and the Ink Machine. I think that with the popularity of those two games, it's going to make generally the art style a bit more popular, make it a bit more mainstream, more people are going to try and get in on it.
Excellent. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, are we able to start over?
Just start again, yeah. Go back and off you go.
I'm Ryan, and this is Daniel, and this is our presentation for our game Prohibition.
So, the first reason we chose this game is because of two games, Bendy and the Ink Machine and Cuphead. With the success of the two games, I think the art style is going to become more popular and more mainstream, so there'd be a reason to try and do it ourselves. We want to keep the gameplay simple, so a standard platformer, so that it's something everyone's used to, but with the Cuphead design so that it has a bit more visual appeal, I guess. So the style of animation used is called rubber hose. It was popular in the 1930s. It also ended in the 1930s pretty much. It was called rubber hose because the way they were animated, the limbs sort of looked like hoses, I guess, the way they like bend and stretch. Again, this animation style is becoming a bit more popular recently. A few more games are including it. So some things with a similar art style would be Steamboat Willie is a pretty famous example, I'd say. The Monopoly Man is a little bit based on that art style as well. I know Epic Mickey, which came out a fair while ago, used a similar art style but in 3D. So that's just a mood board of what I was trying out when designing my first character. So I tried to make the X's for the moonshine as eyes, but kind of X's on the eyes kind of imply something's dead, so it didn't really work out too well. So I changed it to just standard circles. And that is a look at what we're hoping the final product will be. We've got a few different filters on the screen to make it look more, I guess, bold. The filter over to make it look a bit more like paper as well.
Okay, so since the target market is WebGL based games, our target market is about 5% of the whole gaming market. And since this is platformer, our target market for that is 4%. So the market is very small. We're going to be targeting between 16 to 30 year olds, since this seems to be the majority of who buy games. The reason we're targeting this, once people get into their later 20s and early 30s, to start to have disposable income so they can actually buy games as well. That shouldn't affect our game really, since it would be a WebGL game, so we'd be monetized through ads. As you can see, the total gaming industry grosses over 100 billion a year. So 5% of that is the figure as shown on the second point, and that is for WebGL games. Then the market, which is platformers, grows 207 million. And then due to us being English speaking in our project, that limits our project, our total income to 28 million as a possible gross income from this if we did bring it to market. And this is due to us not making different interpretations of games due to different languages. And that's just a slide showing that how small our target market actually is compared to the whole demographic of the gaming industry. Cost of manufacturing. So in research for this game, we were looking at different slides and filters you could buy for Unity. There's an asset pack that does paper overlay filter that costs €50, and we'd be very interested in buying that. Most of the software will be using, such as Unity, Dragon Balls, Photoshop CS2, and Inkscape as an Illustrator substitute, are free. So software won't cost us anything, but that asset pack may if we do decide to go with it. And for sounds, most of our sounds will be sampled from free sounds. So they're royalty-free sounds mainly, and they're free as well. So cost of sound production will be low. So if we actually do need to record sounds, we can either buy a Zoom H1 handheld recorder or rent one from the college itself. And the cost of a Zoom H1 as of doing this presentation in Everest Music is around €100. So the total cost of this game will be about 150, depending on what we do decide to do with sound and asset packs. So software used are Unity, Illustrator, Inkscape, Photoshop, CS2, and Dragon Balls. We may use Dragon Balls depending on what kind of style of animation we want to do. If it's more hand, to get that kind of 1930s style of animation with the hand-drawn kind of characteristics, we might use Dragon Balls for that reason. But that all depends in due course. And tech specs. Since Chrome is used by 64% of the world, we decided to base our specs on Chrome. And the minimum specs for Chrome would be Windows 7's and PC with 345 megabytes of space on the hard drive, 2 gigs of RAM, DirectX 9 graphics, and a 1 GHz CPU at 64 bits. And that's it. Is there any questions?
So at the start you said that you were jumping on the train of the style of Cuphead and all that. So doesn't that mean there would be a lot of competition for you guys in that sense?
Not at the moment, since Cuphead and Bendy are the only 2 games we could find that would, at the moment of doing this presentation, that had very wide media publication for that art style. There's been other games out in the past. There was a Steamboat Mickey game.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember the name of it, but there was a Mickey Mouse game where one of the levels looked similar to. It was based in Steamboat Willie, so it had. Then, as I said, Epic Mickey. Again, that's fairly old. Had that art style as well.
So the Kingdom Hearts 2, which had a level based around the Steamboat Willie style. So it's not a very used style. So we kind of have a limited market to reach for in a sense.
But do you think, with the popularity of Cuphead rising, that might change?
It probably will,
Yeah,
to be honest.
It will.
Okay.
Because it's going to be the sense that for say Mirror's Edge, for example, since that game was so unique to its free running style, a lot more games start to implement that into their games, like Dying Light and Assassin's Creed. Any more?
How would you generate income from your game?
So we would either monetize ads on the site if we were to upload it to a web page, or we could just go through the Steam Greenlight page, which is actually, as of doing this, is no more, and you just pay €100 developer fee in a sense for it. We could also look into bringing it into the App Play Store and monetize it through the Play Store as well.
Any other questions?
Yeah, just in terms of developing the game, how long do you think it's going to take you to develop it and create it, and what ideas do you have around that?
So far we have most of the assets for the game done. We have stuff like the main menu, and there's only a few touch-ups and animations that are left. After that we will allocate about 2 to 3 weeks for coding. Since we're new to coding, we would like to allocate more time to it. And then it'd be about a few days just to compress everything into one file to export as a WebGL game. So say about another month and a half, say, or a month.
And then are you going to do any testing to see whether...
We will be doing a lot of testing since we are both new to coding. We would like to give it a good bit of testing to see is our code correct or is it interfering with other code in the game.
Okay, and in terms of gameplay, will you be doing any testing in terms of trying it out with different people to see whether they're receptive to it?
We would like to try it out with either people in the class just to see if we could swap games. They test our games, we test their games in a sense. and then we would like to test it out with friends as well, see what they think, and send it on to past colleagues that used to do the course last year and get their thoughts on the game as well.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
Um,
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much for